This is Professor X here coming at you, and it's good to see you, all of you. Hope you're doing well. I come with you in the greetings of peace. And basically, what we're going to be attempting to do is our goal is to improve race relations. That's something that's definitely needed in America, and I assume all over the world. People are so divided. And so, my goal is to improve, enhance positive race relations amongst people. And one of the ways in which we can do that is to really recognize the fact that labeling individuals based upon their race, ethnicities, nationalities, etc., is not a good thing, and it can be very offensive, and and some people can be affronted by that. So what I want to do is just to give you some information in terms of how that can be harmful to other individuals, consciously or subconsciously, particularly as it relates to um, quote unquote black-white relationships. And that's the problem, labeling people based upon color. And this is my conjecture. For instance, three groups come to mind, of course: black, people being labeled as black, that is, people being labeled as white, and people being labeled as being red. Okay, now, of course, I'm still doing research to see um, how it came about calling or labeling individuals based upon color. Nevertheless, that's not what we want to accomplish. We just want to educate the populace, educate the people in terms of how this is inappropriate. First of all, let's look at example. Let's look at white. Here we go. Hope everyone can see this. This is a piece of white paper, right? See that clearly? White. Okay, now I have a bag here. Okay, let's look at this bag. And this bag is the color black. Color black. Okay, you can see that pretty clearly, right? Black. Once again, white. This is white, the color white. This is black. Now, I think any reasonable, rational, logical, mentally competent individual or individuals would agree that there aren't any white people, quote unquote, or black people, or for that matter, red people, yellow people. But for the sake of the discussion, we're just going to go with black and white. But I think you have pretty much a good feel of where I'm going with this. So, and then let's take black and white, for instance. Of course, and you can do it in your spare time, you can look up the definition of the word white. And it's everything dealing with good, free from soil. There's one definition I've run across. Impure, free from moral impurity, and I think I said impurity, but pure. It has been defined as pure, not impure, but free from moral impurity. And there have been times I think I've run across white as being described as being angelic, definitely. Now let's look at the flip side of that. Black has been associated with soil, dirty, evil, sinister, almost everything bad, derogatory. And so when we call an individual or label an individual in those terms, we can see how that is inappropriate. And to improve race relations, I think we would be best not to label individuals a color per se. And let's look at from a spiritual or biblical perspective. We see, for instance, in the Bible, it says in Genesis. No, let's go with Proverbs. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Life and death is in the power. It's in the power of the tongue. What we say, what we utter, what we speak." And so, life or death, or life and death, is in the power of the tongue. And given that we were made in the image of God. In Genesis, first chapter, 27th verse. We were made in his likeness. So therefore, we see when God created the universe, um, the power came from what he spoke. For instance, in Genesis, first chapter, 5th verse, it says God called. Genesis, first chapter, 6th verse, God said. Genesis, first chapter, 8th verse, God called. Genesis, first chapter, 9th verse, said. And the 10th verse, Genesis, first chapter, he called. So God uttered, he spoke, he said, he called, and then things came into existence. So likewise, when we say things, you know, for as individuals, in terms of what we label them or what we call them, this is especially true with children. If you call them bad and you call them no good, if you utter negative words towards them, they can internalize that and begin to act on what they've been called or labeled. And so likewise, since life and death is in the power of the tongue, and we were made in the likeness of God, well, we have the power to influence the outcome of individuals in terms of their self-esteem, their self-concept, or their overt actions. And so, in ministers in particular, I think we should be very aware of that. That when we call an individual black or call an individual white, we're in turn marginalizing one group and elevating or promoting another group, which is simply wrong, in my opinion. That's evil in itself. So I just thought we needed to start there. If we're going to enhance, improve, promote positive, constructive race relations, we have to start there by realizing that labeling individuals congruently with colors definitely shouldn't have any room in a civilized, quote unquote, society. And so I just thought I would start there, and then we'll have a series going in terms of how we can improve race relations. And please direct your friends, relatives, professional, lay people to this lecture series, because I think there's a lot of knowledge out there that we need to be aware of, because knowledge is power and has the power of shaping individuals um, covertly, inwardly, and then overtly, outwardly. And that's what needs to happen. We need an epiphany, an awakening, insights into actually what's going on, what's really going on in our society. And so let's start there. Once again, this is white. I've never seen a person this color. Have you? If so, please let me know. I need to see with my own eyes. And here we are. Once again, my case here is black. I've never seen anyone this color. So, I'm going to go ahead and sign out with peace. Wish you love, and we'll be back because there's a lot to talk about to bring about an epiphany moment with Professor X. And once again, Professor X, epiphany moments promoting a conscious community, and that's something we should strive to do. Thank you very much. God bless each and every one of you.